Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tracking a really incredible journey. We're going to take Buddhism from this deeply abstract ancient philosophy and follow it all the way to a modern transnational map, one that you can literally travel today. It's just a fascinating look at how ancient thoughts physically ground themselves in the real world.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, Siddhartha and the ultimate goal. Second, unpacking the core teachings. Third, the four holiest sites. And finally, the modern Buddhist circuit.
Let's jump right in. Section 1, Siddhartha and the ultimate goal, understanding the foundation.
So, Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, lived roughly between 563 and 483 BCE. But what's absolutely crucial to grasp here is that his approach was incredibly empirical. He wasn't just sitting around spinning abstract theology. He was essentially acting as an ancient scientist of the human condition. He wanted to figure out the exact mechanics of suffering, uncover its root causes, and basically find a highly practical, reproducible path to overcome it completely.
To understand a solution, we really have to understand the problem. As he saw it, humanity is caught in this thing called samsara. It's this draining, endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. It's a relentless loop, and really, it's the very engine of human suffering.
Now, if samsara is the trap, nirvana is the ultimate escape. And it's not just some vague concept of heaven, right? It is the literal, complete, and total breaking of that loop. Achieving nirvana actually means stepping off that endless treadmill of birth and death. It's the absolute end of suffering.
Moving on to Section 2, unpacking the core teachings, the path to liberation. When we look at the Four Noble Truths, it's pretty amazing because they actually read a lot like a brilliant medical diagnosis. First, you have Dukkha, which diagnoses the underlying disease. Basically, life involves suffering. Second, Samudaya identifies the specific cause, which is craving. Third, Nirodha gives us a hopeful prognosis, saying that the suffering can actually be cured. And finally, Magga is the prescription itself, the Eightfold Path.
The biggest takeaway here is this direct, really stark contrast between the cause and the end. If Samudaya tells us that craving is the absolute engine of our suffering, well, the Nirodha lays down a hard rule. Eliminating that craving is the exact and honestly the only key to ending it. Simply put, you just cannot cure the suffering without directly attacking the craving.
To actually walk that path, the Noble Eightfold Path isn't just some random list of strict rules you have to follow. It's a highly organized, holistic system grouped into three very practical categories: wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. It makes total sense when you think about it. You need the wisdom to understand reality, the ethical conduct to align your everyday actions, and the mental discipline to maintain razor-sharp focus. And underpinning all of this are the three marks of existence. This is the stark realization that literally everything in life is marked by anicca, which is impermanence, by dukkha, which is suffering, and by anatta, which translates to non-self. Truly grasping that absolutely nothing lasts forever, well, that is step one to developing that foundational wisdom we were just talking about.
All right, Section 3, the four holiest sites, grounding the philosophy.
What's really fascinating here is how these abstract theological concepts didn't just stay abstract. As our source material outlines, these core teachings are deeply physically anchored to specific coordinates on a map, the literal places where the historical Buddha actually walked.
The Buddha's life story serves as a literal, physical map across a pretty massive geographical footprint. The journey begins with Lumbini in Nepal, which was his exact birthplace. Then it moves south to Bodh Gaya in Bihar, the momentous site of his enlightenment. After that, we travel to Sarnath in Uttar Pradesh, where he delivered his very first sermon. And finally, Kushinagar, the site where he attained Mahaparinirvana. It's amazing because you can literally trace the entire philosophy just by tracing these geographical steps.
And that brings us to Section 4, the modern Buddhist circuit, a transnational journey. Now, let's fast forward a bit to the year 2016. This year represents a massive modern milestone, really marking the moment these ancient historical teachings were brought firmly into the 21st century. In 2016, the Ministry of Tourism officially declared the Buddhist circuit as India's very first transnational tourism circuit. And what's truly amazing here is how this circuit completely ignores modern political borders. It unites sacred sites across India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka into one cohesive, flowing journey. Today, curious travelers and devoted followers alike traverse this expanded route. Obviously, it includes those 4 holiest sites we mentioned, but it also expands out to places like Vaishali, Rajgir, Shavasti, and Kapilavastu. Just think about that juxtaposition for a second. Modern travelers in hiking boots walking the exact same dirt paths as ancient seekers of Nirvana did over 2.5 millennia ago. Pretty wild, right?
So we've gone all the way from the ancient mind of Siddhartha Gautama through the profound 4 noble truths to a modern transnational map connecting India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka today. Whether you're looking for a philosophical framework for your own life, or maybe you're just planning your next great adventure across Asia, it leaves us with one really big question. Whether it's an inward journey or an outward one, which step of the path will you take first?